have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Play ball!
Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America. Expanding awareness about the TeamMates program and the ever-growing need for mentors. This is TeamMates Timeout with TeamMates CEO Des Moines Adams and Marketing and Communications Manager Ashton Honor.
TeamMates. We're in the ticket booth, 93.7. You're live with DeMo and Ash. It's hot outside, Ash.
Oh, it's miserable. I'm ready for fall. I don't know about you.
I wore the wrong outfit today. I had some meetings, and I'm a little jealous. You look like you've been playing golf or tennis, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I can tell you what we're doing today. We're getting to the heart of why TeamMates started 34 years ago, and it was really around education, helping, inspiring our students to reach their full potential. And what better way to talk about really the foundation of what TeamMates Mentoring is trying to do in the lives of our young people than to bring on the Nebraska Commissioner of Education. Ash, I'm going to let you introduce our special guest today.
Joining us today is Dr. Brian Maher, who is the Commissioner of the Nebraska Department of Education, where he has served as the Commissioner the last 2 years now. Prior to the NDE, Dr. Maher served as the CEO and Executive Director of the South Dakota Board of Regents from 2020 to 2023. Prior to that, he was the superintendent at Sioux Falls, South Dakota School District. the superintendent at Kearney Public Schools and Centennial Public Schools. During this time, he also served on the Nebraska School Activities Association Board of Directors, and his career started as a teacher and coach in Clark's Public Schools, Elkhorn Public Schools, before he went on to serve as administrator in Waverly, Elkhorn, and Johnson Brock. Dr. Maher, welcome.
Thank you. That's quite an introduction.
You have
fond memories of all of those places you just mentioned.
We're just going to dive right in here. So you have made education your life's work. What inspired you to get into the education field?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Honestly, it was teachers and coaches from when I was a little kid. I'm the youngest of 7. Grew up in Hooper, Nebraska. Same as Jordan Larson,
Yes.
by the way. And when I grew up there, you had to kind of figure out what it was you were going to do. And for me, it was always being around that high school football game on Friday night, or the basketball game on Friday night or Saturday night, and all the baseball games in the summer, always around those sorts of things. And I really gravitated towards the coaches that were around. So teachers, coaches. I would also tell you that I grew up very, very poor. And so that was cheap entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw how much fun you could have in athletics, I was pretty good at school. I looked around and thought, the teachers tend to, they do well. They live in nice houses. They drive nice cars. I want to be like them. So that was my driving force. That was my motivator, was to be like the teachers and the early mentors that I had.
What sports did you coach?
Well, I coached a lot of sports. My loves were football and basketball. Track would be a real close second to those two, because all of my kids participated in track, and I had the opportunity to coach them. So that was also fantastic. But the sport that I coached, where I learned the most, was soccer. I was a high school soccer coach at Elkhorn High School. And the first game I ever saw, I was the head coach.
I did not know you coached soccer.
Yeah. Wow. And I learned more about coaching a sport I didn't know, because I learned how to trust the athletes who knew a whole lot more about the sport than I did. I knew about making sure they were in shape and the discipline that came along, but I really didn't know the X's and O's of soccer. So I learned alongside my students, and we actually were quite good, which also told me that really, in order to be very good, you got to have good athletes.
Yes.
And we did.
Speaking of student athletes, you are the father of 3 Division I Nebraska student athletes. How is it being the father of such great humans?
Well, it tells you one thing, I think, for sure, looking at me, and that's that I married really, really well.
You did.
When you think about the gene pool, I tell everybody that our kids got their athleticism from their mom.
Yes.
And I'm not just being humble. I believe that. But they got their tenacity from me. So the tenaciousness that they bring about, I think that comes from Dad. But there's no doubt that the athleticism comes from Mom. And
tell the listeners, you have 2 pole vaulters and then 1 football player, correct?
Yeah. If you go back to high school, we actually had 3 pole vaulters. All 3 kids were state champs. All 3 kids were multiple time state champs. All 3 kids were all class gold medal winners. And I had just tremendous joy watching them share that. But in college, yes, both Lindsay and Maggie, our daughters, were pole vaulters. Lindsay was here at a time where she medaled 4 times in the Big 12. Maggie was at Nebraska at a time where she medaled 4 times in the Big 10.
Okay.
And Brett, in between them, he redshirted, but his freshman and sophomore years were in the Big 12.
Okay.
And his junior and senior years were in the Big 10. So the old math teacher in me says those Maher kids really showed a lot of symmetry in the way they went about their athletic careers.
I love it.
Well, as a former, Husker, definitely remember Brett having a lot of success here and then in the NFL. But now when I hear the last name Maher, I think of Dr. Brian Maher, the Nebraska Commissioner of Education. to all of the listeners, and even I, am still learning about this very important road to education. What does it mean to be the Nebraska Commissioner of Education?
That's a really good question, and I get asked that a lot, Des Moines. I really do about, what do you do? What does that position entail? What does the department actually do? And the first thing I would tell you is, I think it's an incredible honor to say that I'm the Commissioner of Education in Nebraska. It's certainly a big responsibility, but the honor is something that I'll never lose sight of. The Department of Education oversees all education in Nebraska K through 12. So that's public, that's private, and that's homeschool students. So it's not just one piece of education in Nebraska. It's the whole thing. We do things like professional development in schools. We provide technical assistance for schools, especially when they're putting their budgets together. Budget flows from the legislature through the Department of Education into our schools. I would also tell you that we have program and fiscal analysis, think special education, if you will, and then we deal with certification. So if for a teacher to teach in a Nebraska school, and for that school to be approved or accredited, those teachers in that school have to be certified in the state of Nebraska. And we do all of that. So direct services to people with disabilities is as well as something that we deal with. Get folks with all sorts of ability and disability.
So pretty much when it comes to the Department of Education, you're the man. You are the servant leader. And I didn't realize it included public and private and homeschool. So everything education pretty much falls under the umbrella of the Department of Education.
Right. We have about 360,000 kindergarten through 12th grade students in Nebraska. That includes public, private, and homeschool students. We're over the umbrella of all of those students and all of those modes of education throughout the state.
Wow. So you've been in this role now for 2 years, but you are a long-time educator with strong Nebraska roots. What brought you back to Nebraska?
Yeah, it was, first of all, I would say our time. We were in South Dakota 8 years, and we being my wife and I, we were empty nesters when we moved there. Had a great time. It's an experience that I'm absolutely tickled that I had. But make no mistake about it, my wife Peg and I we're both Nebraskans, and we do believe that there is no place like Nebraska. It was time for us to come back home. That and the fact that all of our kids were married, all of our kids were having kids, and there's nothing like the pull of grandkids to get you back to where your kids are.
Yeah. Grandkids, one of these days, hopefully no time soon, I'm just trying to be a father of a 10-year-old, 14-year-old, 19-year-old, and 22-year-old, which, we actually go back. When I officially first met you, it was in 2020 because you were the superintendent in Sioux Falls, and you played a very instrumental role in helping TeamMates mentoring get started in the Sioux Falls School District. And as a superintendent, that's pretty much how TeamMates mentoring starts. Without the superintendent's support, there is no TeamMates. What's the relationship between TeamMates mentoring and education to you?
Oh, it's symbiotic. It is hand in glove. What other niche can I use there to say? I mean, it's so critical. You think if you had a great educational experience, think about the 1 or 2 or 3 teachers that you had and what made them special. And it was a caring, it was a mentoring attitude. It wasn't, I'm guessing, it wasn't their content knowledge. It was the fact that they cared about you. And that, to me, that's what TeamMates is about. And I still remember, Des Moines, when you were talking about coming to Sioux Falls and having the conversations about would TeamMates fit. And this Nebraskan sitting in the top seat in the Sioux Falls School District thought easily it fits. And of course, nothing's ever that easy, but when we brought you in, when Coach Osborne came in, it really was an easy fit and one of the easier sells I think I've ever had. And I think it's really taken over the system and beginning to take over that state as well. So the difference that you can see in a child, and I was a mentor as well, the difference you can see in a child when they have just even one adult that they know cares about them. They have many that care about them, but there's a difference between caring about a child or a student and having that student know that you care about them. And I think that's maybe sometimes the differentiator between the teachers who we know care versus that mentor who really displays that care and makes all the difference in the world.
And, with your background in mathematics, I provided you our annual report from last year, which Ashton is in the process of putting together this upcoming year. But when you look at that data, one of the things that we are able to show impact when it comes to students in schools is around attendance, grades, and behavior. And so when you see the 59% attendance being improved and the academics and the behavior, the academic improvement, the attendance and the behavior from someone that values numbers and data, what do these numbers mean to you when it comes to the impact and the relationship we have with education?
I would tell you when I look at these numbers, and I've seen them now for 20 minutes maybe, right? So not very long, but I look at what are we doing from a strategic plan. So our mission really is to figure out what's the best pathway for students in the state of Nebraska. And what we come back to are, number one, how do we make sure that kids are doing what they need to do academically? What's their academic achievement look like? And I see here that 59% of your students see academic improvement as a result of being part of TeamMates. Powerful. Number two, another thing that we really look at is how many of our students are students in good standing from a perspective of being sent to the principal or getting this detention or getting kicked out of school, because they've got to be in the classroom, not just in school, but in the classroom to really gain the advantage that those teachers can give them. And I see 87% fewer disciplinary refuels. Boom, big issue number two. Number three, I see 71% fewer unexcused absences. I would tell you we're in the middle of putting a strategic plan together right now. And one of the things that comes front and center is we need to reduce absenteeism and really chronic absenteeism around the state. That's not just Nebraska, that's a national issue. And when I look at your statistic, 71% have fewer unexcused absences. That's a boom, boom. If the last one was a boom, this is a boom, boom. That's enormous. Just to have kids in school makes a huge difference. Another thing where we look at success, I was around a group of superintendents and I asked them, what's the number one thing that you look for to know that you're being successful in your school? And the thing that they agreed on was graduation rate. We've got to get kids to that point where they're going to graduate. 97% of the students who are involved in TeamMates graduate. That's well above the state average.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's a triple boom. That's exactly what that is right there. And then you see, and I think of, I don't have the data at the tip of my tongue. I wish I did. Where what does it mean to go do something beyond high school? I don't care if it's a trade school. I don't care if it's the military. I don't care if it's a community college. I don't care if it's a university. What's key is that students do something beyond high school, and there's data deluxe that talks about what that means for students in terms of lifetime earnings, let alone right away. What do they make right away in terms of money? But what do they make over the course of a lifetime versus somebody that hasn't? And it's astronomical. By the way, there's another statistic that says what that means for society, let alone for the individual. So getting students to do something beyond high school is critical. 80% of teammates, graduate with the post-secondary plan. 4 booms. Those are big stats right there. Those are not just something that looks nice on a sheet of paper, although this looks very nice, Ashton.
Thank you.
But this isn't something that you just tell at the chamber or the downtown Rotary, although you should be telling these stats. But these are truly lifetime issues for kids in Nebraska and across the country.
Well, and this is what we're trying to do. We feel that we have so many stories to share, but also our data. I mean, we're talking decades of just making sure that we are showing that there is a relationship between teammates, mentoring, and education. Ashton and I, we had the opportunity to present at Nebraska Admin Days last week, and we also had a booth where superintendents, administrators could walk around. Ashton, talk about just that experience, just getting to meet superintendents, administrators that were either connected to teammates or wanted to learn more about teammates.
I will say that atmosphere last week was very electric. You could tell all of those administrators were ready to go back into their school buildings, back in the classrooms. With my experience at the NSA, I absolutely loved it because it felt like old home weeks for me, getting to see all of these administrators who some used to be former athletic directors, now principals, now superintendents, having the opportunity to interact with them and just talk about teammates and who we are as an organization. And then, of course, with the TeamMates brand in the state of Nebraska itself, I really don't have to say a whole lot when I'm interacting with those folks, we're very blessed for that opportunity after 34 years as an organization. But I did hear a lot of people say we had the best booth there. So shout out to Sydney Bachman on our staff with all the cool swag. But it was just cool, the pride that they had coming up to the booth and be like, my school has teammates. Like, what's going on? Like, we're so excited. And they were just all happy to be there. I don't know about happy having to go to meetings, but the energy was very electric last week.
And when it comes to school districts, we're currently in 151 in Nebraska. And Ashton and I both learned that there are 249 school districts in Nebraska, which means that it's great that we're expanding into South Dakota, into Iowa, into Kansas, Wyoming. Now we're in Missouri. Right now, we just completed our strategic plan. I think that's kind of going to be our sweet spot. But when it comes to teammates partnering with school districts, what are school districts gaining by having teammates mentoring? And what are school districts missing by not having teammates mentoring?
What they're gaining is easy. It's all of the statistics that I just talked about. It's connections with kids that make all the difference in the world. Again, we've got to have people that know their content. You've got to know how to conjugate verbs. You've got to, and I'm going to go back and learn that one of these days. You've got to know how to do the Pythagorean theorem. That I can teach you. But what you really have to know how to do is connect. You've really got to know how to make sure that we can connect with students. And if we can do that, all of those other things fall into place. All those things like absenteeism, all of those things like kids acting up in class, all of those things like will they graduate or not, all those things like will they do something beyond high school. Those matter because of relationships as much as they matter about content knowledge. And so that's what schools have to gain. That's also what schools may be missing out on, is are those relationships that somebody can bring into the building and make sure that students are there to learn. I'm going to give you my own experience as a mentor. This was in South Dakota, and it was a 3rd grade student. And this 3rd grade student had a father who was incarcerated, had a mom who didn't always know he was there because of some addictions that she was facing, some demons that she was working through. I went an entire year, and I didn't realize this until the secretary to the principal in the building came up and said, do you realize his absentee rate was over 50%? So more than half the time he missed school, but he had perfect attendance on the days that you came.
Wow.
That's what schools miss out on if they don't have teammates in the building. And that's what I took also from that young man was far greater than anything I ever provided that young man. I miss him today.
You heard it from the commissioner, Austin. You know, we're still hoping, we're still waiting for you to go to teammates.org so that you can become a mentor. If a superintendent like Dr. Maher can be a mentor. And by the way, past tense, we need to get you back on the team, right?
Understand.
Yeah.
Understand. Mission accepted.
So Austin, I'm just going to let you process everything that you just are witnessing, that you're hearing. We have the Nebraska Commissioner of Education in the house. And this is just segment 1. We got 2 more segments. And we're just going to just keep diving and going deep. 4 booms is what I heard, right, Ashton?
You did.
4 booms. And so Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple and Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrollout.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rollouts, cleanup made simple.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds. It'll be hot with an afternoon high around 100. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, low around 69. And tomorrow, a chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, mainly cloudy, breezy, and cool with the high around 82. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Play ball! Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
With DeMo and Ash, Teammates Timeout, special guest, Nebraska Commissioner of Education. I mean, that just sounds like a powerful name.
I love the way you say it.
Seriously. I mean, Nebraska Commissioner of Education. Ashton and I, we're very fortunate to get invited to this party called the Nebraska Administrative Days, which was held out in Kearney. Over 1,000 superintendents, principals, administrators, ESUs, they were all present. And I just think that that really showed us the trust that school districts have when it comes to teammates mentoring, working with them. I got a chance to hear you kind of kick the day off on that Wednesday, and you gave a very inspirational speech around the word hope. And teammates mentoring, we always like to talk about hope, especially when Gallup says hope is the greatest indicator of academic success. But when you talked about it, you incorporated in your vision. What is your vision for education in the state of Nebraska?
Yeah, particularly on that one topic, it's to improve literacy rates, and that might sound overly technical, so I like to say it like this. I want to make sure that kids in Nebraska can read a little bit better tomorrow than they're reading today. And the only way that happens if we have some sort of constancy of effort in all of our schools across the state, teaching good things, but also caring about whether or not our students improve. And I think that starts with where are we right now? And our literacy rates right now, from a proficiency standpoint, they're not okay. They're not okay for this state. They might be okay for some states, but they're not okay for Nebraska. And we've got to improve proficiency rates across the state. And so I gave some sobering statistics about where we were to the group. But then I talked to the group about, well, gosh, you can look at this and say, is there any hope? And the quote that I threw out, a quote from Zig Ziglar, and recognizing that most everybody in the offense was younger than me, I said, well, Google him. But Zig Ziglar coined the phrase of, when hope is born, action follows. And so is there any hope? Is there any hope that we can improve the literacy rates, the proficiency rates of students across the state of Nebraska? And the answer is an emphatic yes, we can, and we must. And we need to make sure that everybody is approaching this with the heart of a teacher. Luckily, we're working with teachers to make that come true. And I am positive that we will together.
And I wish every educator was at administrative days, because I'm not even an educator, but I got nothing but love and respect for education. And I know education has changed over the years, its perception and its value. But how would you define the importance of education today?
It's as important today as it ever has been, and K-12 is the base. Pre-K through 12 is the base. It's where it starts, doesn't end there. Post-secondary education also is critical, but we've got to make sure that kids are getting off to a good start in Nebraska. And I'll tell you, it makes all the difference. I'll go personal here again. I'm the youngest of 7, as I mentioned, growing up in Hooper, a very poor family, a free and reduced price lunch kid, if you will. And I'm the only child of the 7 who went on to get a 4-year degree.
Oh,
And it's made all the difference in my life. And I think about it this way, and I think about it all the time. Financially, Peg and I are doing just fine. From a free and reduced price lunch kid to where we are today, I tell people that if my father was still alive, he would roll over in his grave if he knew what we've been able to do financially. And I'm certainly not Warren Buffett. In fact, we don't even live in the same financial zip code. but we're doing really well from that poor kid in Hooper's perspective. And the difference was the education that I received in school, in high school, and to finish that college degree has made all of the difference in the world. And I would tell you, as complex as society has become since I graduated from high school, the need for a good education to be able to be a critical thinker is more important today than it's ever been.
When it comes to reading literacy, how can TeamMates mentoring play a role in the work educators are doing with students?
Yeah. First of all, I wish there was a way to quantify what you're already doing. By being there, I think it helps all the things that we talked about earlier: the attendance rates, the academic improvement, the graduation rate. So you don't do all of those things without improving the fundamentals. I know I'm going to get this wrong, but I remember listening to Coach Osborne years and years ago, and as a kid growing up and then a coach in the state of Nebraska, I tried to listen to everything Coach Osborne said. And at one point in time, he said something similar to this. And it was, if you block sufficiently well, and if you tackle sufficiently well, the wins and losses will take care of themselves. And so the key is to make sure that you block sufficiently well and tackle sufficiently well. Well, from my perspective, in our industry, those fundamentals are: I need to make sure that kids read sufficiently well, and I need to make sure that kids understand numeracy, math, a fancy word for knowing their math facts, sufficiently well. And if they do those things, being a career and technology education student, being a physics student, those things will take care of themselves if we take care of the fundamentals. Now, back to your specific question, not every student has in their life the adult that they need in their life to talk to them about why this is important. TeamMates can come in and not only talk to students about why knowing how to read is important, but can also have that conversation with continuity, and maybe along the way teach some literacy tricks that will help them become better readers. There is no doubt in my mind that students who benefit from having a teammate already are improving as literacy students. I think with any intentional focus in literacy, that statistic will only get better.
ESU Coordinating Council CEO Dr. Larry Ann Polk currently serves on our TeamMates Board of Directors and is very excited to leverage all 17 ESUs across the state to support our TeamMates chapters and mentors around literacy and other topics. What does this partnership mean to you and to educators and education in this state?
Well, the first thing I would tell you is it tells me that you've got one heck of a board member in Dr. Polk.
We sure do.
She is phenomenal. She is somebody I aspire to be like. She is driven to be excellent. She cares deeply about outcomes for kids, and she is a tireless worker. That's a pretty good trio of traits to have. She has them in abundance, so you're getting the right people on your board. The second thing that I would say is I think you'll find that you won't have a better champion for teammates. She wouldn't serve on your board if she wasn't going to be a champion for the mission that you put out for the state of Nebraska and beyond. So she'll be able to combine what it takes to be a mentor and what it takes for kids to read and read well, and she'll bring that together. I'm happy for you two, and I'm happy for the kids in Nebraska who will benefit from Larry Ann Polk being a part of the teammates board.
She's great.
Yeah. And just for her to leverage every single ESU from Omaha all the way out to Chadron to Sidney to Scottsbluff down to McCook and Chase County. We're excited for the additional mass support because not only do we provide mentors with the training on what it means to be a mentor, but to provide that ongoing support, around topics around reading literacy or social and emotional intelligence, and even things like critical thinking, left brain, right brain. We're not the educators. We do mentoring, but we do value what educators bring to the table. And so we're very excited to just partner across the state with all of the different ESU champions to really help support our efforts when it comes to inspiring our students to reach their full potential through mentoring.
She has that statewide understanding and that statewide reach. I think you'll be able to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish.
There are currently over 750 students on the waiting list who want a mentor. What would your pitch be to our listeners who are on the fence about becoming a mentor?
First of all, having been a mentor for 2 students, I would tell you that you will take far more than you give. So get involved. The second thing I'm sure everybody wonders about, including me, is do I have the time to give? And I would tell you when I mentored previously, and I will again, that the time becomes a non-issue. You just do it. And it was on my schedule. And there were really important meetings that could get moved on my schedule, but not the time that I was scheduled to go mentor. It was really good for me. And I'll tell you, as a superintendent at that time, every step I took away from teaching to be a principal, to be the superintendent, every step I took me further away from the classroom. Mm-hmm. So as a superintendent, as a CEO, it put me back in to the reason that I chose this profession in the first place. And that was to make a difference in the lives of kids. And anybody that is mentoring, I guarantee you will make a difference in the lives of kids. And the other thing is, those kids, they're going to make a difference in your life as well. And that's a hard one to explain, but I've experienced it. And again, I've said it a couple of times. What I gained was far superior than to what I gave.
Well, Ashton does a great job with being able to show her data, and over 80% of mentors indicate feeling more engaged when they go back to work and more happy when they go home from their mentoring time. And so that is a true testament that, yes, we are trying to inspire students, but our mentors are being inspired in the process as well. Ashton is a mentor. I'm a mentor. Co-founder Coach Osborne is currently mentoring 2 kiddos. He's 88 years old. What does that tell you about the importance of mentorship?
Well, it tells me that TeamMates is committed. Number one, you're not just talking the talk. You're walking the walk. And even to have Coach Osborne still at this point mentoring. Number one, I envy those kids. they're in a real fortunate situation. So are the kids that you're mentoring as well. So good for all of them. But I think I've lost track of your question. It was what do the kids gain, or what does the mentor gain?
Or just the overall importance of mentorship, knowing that the majority of our staff, if not all of our staff, are mentors. Co-founder Tom Osborne, who is 88 years of age, he is mentoring 2 kiddos right now in high school. Just, what does that tell you when it comes to the importance of mentorship when it comes to students reaching their full potential in school?
Yeah, number one, we've gone through the statistics of what it can mean for the student. I've also talked a little bit about what it meant for me when I mentored, but I'll talk about maybe a little different angle at this point, and that is, I think folks who mentor have a wider view of what's going on and not just the here and now, because one mentoring session doesn't improve the life of a child, but the consistent mentoring does. And in order to do that, I think you've got to see that your continual involvement as a mentor can really change that student's life. And if we can change a student's life, what can we do for society? What can we do for the world? By just that constancy of purpose in really trying to help our fellow man. One of the things that I closed with last week out at Kearney, you may remember this, was a judo principle called Jichikoye. And I've never practiced judo in my life, but I learned about it from somebody who was a black belt, and then actually had it confirmed after the meeting by somebody in the audience who was practicing judo, and they said, you used that term correctly. And the term means you and I shining together. There's a mutual benefit that comes. That's what Jichikoye really expresses, that mutual benefit. So think about that from a mentoring standpoint. What does that mean? That means there's a mutual benefit between the mentor and the mentee, but it goes well beyond that. If that student begins to act better in class, begins to come to school more often, gets better grades, gets sent to the office less often, graduates, has a plan to go to college or to do something beyond high school, you want to talk about mutual benefit. That's just more than you and me. That's society. And that's the power of what we're talking about here, and the vision that TeamMates is putting into place on a daily basis.
And that mutual benefit, TeamMates mentoring. That's what we call the mentor and the mentee. I go see my teammate, and the students say, I cannot wait to see the teammate. And I think that is why the concept came about 34 years ago, Dr. Maher, by Nancy and Tom Osborne. That mutual relationship, that mutual benefit of an adult being in the life of a young person, involving the community, creating that sense of pride, purpose, and partnership. And so, wow, Ash, I'm still on fire.
We still have one more segment to go.
And it's 100 degrees outside.
It's brutal.
DeMo and Ash, TeamMates Timeout. We got Dr. Brian Maher, Nebraska Commissioner of Education. We got one more segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket. Tonight we're having a great conversation with the Commissioner of the Nebraska Department of Education, Dr. Brian Maher. I always like to ask this one question to our guests. What is one piece of advice that one of your mentors has given you that has made a profound impact on your life?
Boy, yeah, that's a really good one. All I can think of was I used to have a basketball coach, and we just lost him just a couple months ago. Cancer took him away from us too soon. And one of the things he kept saying was, "You got to finish. You got to finish." I thought, Coach, I thought I was. But you got to finish. And it's not just shooting the ball. It's on defense. It's on every drill that you do in practice. And probably the notion that you got to finish, because it's easy to start things. It's harder to finish things. And out of reverence for Coach Allen Ott, I think I'll say you got to finish.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
I love it. It just makes me think of, winners never quit and quitters never win. And going back to that 97% of our students graduate from high school on time. We're just trying to help students to finish. I always like to ask a question, and I'm going to catch you off guard, and I hope you don't disappoint me.
No pressure.
Now, again, 2 pole vaulters and a Husker football player. Now, as a former Husker, I played defensive end. My job was to sack the quarterback. If you were to play Husker football, what position would you have played back in the day? Not today, but, 20, 30 years ago, what position would you have played?
I'm so glad you asked me this question because I've been wanting to get this off my chest for quite some time. I can't believe that Coach Osborne missed me back in 1980 at Logan View.
Oh,
I mean, instead he went after some guy, I don't remember, Turner Gill or something like that. Because obviously quarterback is where, that's actually where I played in high school is quarterback. And what I loved to do, and I think still what I do is quarterback a great team at the Department of Education. But what I contend I have never ceased doing and that's coaching. I got into the profession so I could coach young people, young minds, and that's what I do now, except that now I have an influence on those young people and young minds by coaching adults. So the answer to your question is quarterback, without a doubt. And I would have been looking across the line at you and saying, why in the world do I want to play this position?
You look like you're a right-handed quarterback. You wouldn't even see me coming because I'll be on the right side. I would hit your back. I would make you fumble and sack you so I can be credited for a sack and a fumble.
Well, I remember watching you run, and I know you could get there. That's for sure.
This has been a joy to be able to talk teammates, mentoring, but most importantly, the value of education and just the relationship that teammates, mentoring has. And what we're trying to do, and the fact that we have a lot of watchers and listeners that are on the fence, but Ash, you always close with the drill.
Yes. So go to teammates.org. We've got an exciting thing happening tomorrow. A lot of hard work on potentially a new website. So better check that out. Huge shout out to the marketing team and Kaylee and our web developers. This has been a long time project. So when that website goes live here in the next 24 hours, click join the team, be a mentor, hit that button that says be a mentor or that button that says donate now. You're listening to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, $8.20 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for